questions and answers. My book, Ecological Ignorance in Mainstream Economics, may help you find answers to questions like the following ones. I listed some of these questions. For example, what is economics and what is it for? What are the primary features of mainstream, that is neoclassical or neoliberal economics? Because mainstream economics has become neoliberal economics since about 1990. Is mainstream economics a social science or an ideology of business and money posing as social science? I've come to the conclusion that mainstream economics is actually a business ideology, a pseudoscience, not a real science. What is ecological literacy and how can it be obtained? What are the primary principles of deep ecology? And how do these principles collide with main assumptions of mainstream economics? So there's a collision between the myths of mainstream economics and principles of ecology. Actually, this means collision between economics and laws of nature. What are the most important barriers to thinking and acting ecologically, and how can we surmount these barriers? So for my PhD, it was very important to identify all these barriers to ecological thinking, barriers to holistic thinking, barriers to sustainability, and then produce some suggestions. How can we surmount these barriers? What are the most popular misconceptions and myths of mainstream economics, and what are their possible causes? My second presentation poster, PhD presentation poster, was about this issue. What are the most important causes of these myths of mainstream economics? And it won a prize from a technology organization named SAT in France. Question 7. How do some multinational companies and their investors profit from the destruction of nature? And this question is about ecological imperialism, actually. Many people, I observe, even most economists, don't understand how do these investors profit from the destruction of sustainable ecosystems. So I have a chapter for this question in the book, which is called Ecosystem Mutilation and Patching Business. Question 8. Why is the nature often seen as a passive raw material resource and a passive dumping ground, rather than the active primary reproducer of our planet? Reproducer means primary producer and primary recycling. So together, reproducer. And this is an important question. This is about the established industrial paradigm, or in other words, machine world paradigm, or in other words, mechanistic and reductionist worldview. This worldview is closely related with Industrial Revolution. Why and how do some mainstream economists often serve to the narrow interests of big money, for example, in climate discussions or in discussions about protecting the environment? How do they behave like this, like useful idiots? Are they really idiots, or are they aware of what they are doing? My observation is, or conclusion is, they are really useful idiots. They don't know what they are doing. I mean, most of them. Why do we need a totally different economics theory and education? And how should such an education look like?